Welcome in, everybody. Before we get into today's episode, which is silver stacking episode number 8, I want to give you a quick overview of what to expect. First, we're going to get into the charts because I want to take a look at the gold and silver spot prices. We need to look at the gold-silver ratio, and we'll also take a look at the US dollar because it's a direct correlation with the price of gold and silver and your precious metals. When the US dollar is pumping, it's not that gold and silver is dropping. It's just that in relation to the US dollar, it's becoming a little bit cheaper to buy because the US dollar is becoming more overinflated. Now that the US dollar is closing in and dropping down to almost 103, you can see the direct correlation on gold and silver. It's not that that bar of gold and silver is any harder or any more expensive. It's just that the US dollar's value is worth less. So you'll see a direct correlation there. So what we need to get into today's silver stacking episode number 8, I want to hone in on the differences between gold and silver when it comes in industry, and I have a few key differences to where one is used and another is used in different areas. So I'll show you the differences with gold and silver in industry, and then also I want to show you a few key things to pay attention to when you're stacking silver. So basically some tips to silver stacking. So we'll go over that as I have some information that I've already got jotted down. And then like I said, we're going to go over the gold silver chart, we're going to go over the gold silver ratio, and we're also going to go over the DXY. So make sure you hit that like button as it will greatly help push me through the analytics. And I'm going to play the intro. And after that, we're going to get into the chart. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to be releasing this at 12:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's 10:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, March 20th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I thank everybody who's watched the first 7 installments of Silver Stacking series. This is Silver Stacking episode number 8, and this is going to be kind of like a glossary or a little bit of information to help you stack silver and also understand a little bit better what you need to look out for when you're stacking silver. It's a little bit more than just buying a bar of silver or a silver round. You need to know the difference between silver rounds, silver bars. You need to understand collector coins and why you need to stay away from those if you're actually just doing this to preserve your wealth. So we'll get into all of this shortly. First, I want to take a look at the we'll take a look at the DXY first, as it's at 103 spot 387, and we're not going to do anything deep. We're just going to look at it. It broke the 103 spot 67 support, so now we're looking at 102 spot 605 approximately, and then it can get dicey from there. So our last hope is failing right now for the US dollar, as a $2 trillion stimulus package, you can call it, was passed, or quantitative easing, to bail out the banks. So they don't have to call it quantitative easing in the USA, but that's exactly what's happening. And because of that, you've seen gold have a great move up. Same thing with silver. Today, it's under a bit of pressure. But after these nice pushes up, some people might want to take some profit. But to me, it's very simple what's going on here. We broke back up into this channel, I guess you could call it. Maybe a little bit of a broadening wedge when we get up there. But once we got up here, now we're going to have to retest about 1950. So as long as gold maintains that 1950, then we got to break out of this 2025 approximately. We break out of that, then you can come up to the top at 2092. Well, once you come up to there, you're approaching all-time highs. If gold breaks all-time highs, that's when we can start getting these unbelievable moves. But we're starting to get into a part in this financial system where gold and silver is being more universally bought once again. And as the foreign nations are trying to get off the off of the petrodollar, which is the US dollar, as the world's reserve currency, so that you can buy petro, a few different countries have made deals now where they will actually accept, like Saudi Arabia, will accept gold instead of the US dollar. So there's other countries out there that are starting to take advantage of this. So they're slowly but surely trying to take the US dollar away from the world reserve currency, and that happens because the U.S. takes advantage of its situation and puts sanctions on the rest of the world. Well, it might sound all nice and fancy with sanctions, but that's the number one way and this most simplistic way to get other countries to figure out a different way than paying for petrol with the U.S. dollar. Because without sanctions, you don't have the risk of not being able to buy your goods. With these sanctions, now these other countries are going to find different ways to buy what they need without using the U.S. dollar, therefore making the U.S. dollar obsolete. So be careful for what you wish for when you're in a power position. So never make a power play just because you can. So gold is at 1974, as we have talked about. We are facing these breakouts, so I don't want to go any more deeper than that. But that's what we're looking at. So a 1950 hold would be incredibly important for if a retracement does indeed happen. Silver's at 22.39, down about 0.87% on the day. And silver broke back into this range. We did retest this, and we have an uptrending resistance that's going to hit us. We could actually meet it a little higher, but about 23.60. But this top part of this pattern is $24. And then above that, we've got about 28.60. But first things first, we've now got a support formed underneath at $20.80. We've got a resistance above at $23.69. First things in the 30-minute, if we want to hold this, if gold comes back down, there's a possibility this could come back to $20.81 to confirm this move up. It doesn't have to. We could always hold the $21.90 level. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. We could always hold the $21.40 level. So let's put this here because that's the actual important part. So we'll watch that. If we don't hold $21.40, we'll just look to hold the formation on this uptrend at about $20.75. So pay attention to that with silver, because that could give a little bit of volatility here in the immediate short term for silver. And the gold-silver ratio is at 88.068, and this will conclude our chart part of it, and then it's going to be all information from here. So we got this uptrending resistance that, for the gold-silver ratio, if we were to break out of this, we could actually have a nice parabolic move up, and that could bring us up to about 95.95 again. But first, we got to get past this uptrending resistance at 90.13. If not, the next logical spot down is 81.287. So if this is a bear flag being put in, this could actually come down here, and this could implicate that gold might be having a bigger push up in the immediate short term than silver. So, or I mean that silver's having a bigger push up than gold in the immediate short term. So pay attention to that. So that's how the ratios are looking, but still a very healthy ratio at 88-1. And I implore you, if you haven't bought silver, don't look at the price of silver, look at the ratio. In my plan, it's at 88-1 right now. When silver gets to 40-1 or lower in comparison to gold, I will trade my silver for gold, lessen the weight that I have, because gold does weigh more than silver, but you have to buy a lot more silver to equal the same amount that you get for 1 ounce of gold. So when you put that in perspective, you got to start trading out some of your silver for gold when the ratios become a little bit easier, just in case you got to go dig it up and carry it around. It's not going to be easy to dig up your silver and carry it around. Now, you can keep some at home, but I advise you to bury it somewhere because you're not going to want to keep it all. Yes, I have arms, but I'm not worried about my local person. I'm worried about my government. So you're going to have to bury it somewhere that you trust and only you know. And that's not me telling you. That's thousands and thousands of years of people going around the world without storage opportunities. And they found ways, countries found ways, people found ways to avoid tyrannical governments. That's just something you have to do. So you're going to have to teach yourself, and you're going to have to figure out how to use a compass. I don't know what to tell you. You can look at the sun, but that's not going to be the best way to go find your shit. So now that we've done this part, now it's time to give you a little information. And yes, this can be a little tedious, so you might have to relook at this, but I want to tell you some of the things you're going to have to look for if you're stacking silver, and some of the key differences between gold and silver when it comes to industry, and why they're both important equally. But just pay attention to what I'm saying, because there's a lot of good things with silver stacking, but you have to do it in the proper mindset. We might have a gold stacking series as well when the ratio comes down to 40 or 30-1, and show how to stack gold and then turn it into huge amounts of silver when the ratios switch. You know, we could do that down the road, but the whole point is you stack silver so that you can lessen the weight down the road. And essentially, if you trade it in for 40-1, you're getting half price on your gold, because you get to keep 40 ounces of silver out of the 80, and you get an ounce of gold with the other 40. It's a steal. So silver stacking refers to the practice of accumulating silver bullion coins or bars as form of investment or financial protection. So So here's a guide to help you get started with silver stacking. So I like to break it down like this. Yes, I do like to show a lot of definitions and I like to show a lot of information, but the more I beat this into your brain, this is what I used to learn. So I've put it into a nice constricted little bit of information here in a guide that I've tied it all in. Just put it close so that you have all the information here. And then if you want to look at it individually, you can take each one of these slides and then you can look up the information off of each of them. So understand the different types of silver. Silver comes in various forms such as coins, bars, rounds, and even jewelry. Make sure you understand the differences and choose the types that work best for your needs. So if you're stacking and you're trying to preserve your wealth, silver and gold rounds and bars. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Rounds and bars. Don't worry about the coin. I mean, you could buy coins, but you're going to pay more of a premium. So I tell you to stick with gold rounds, silver rounds, gold bars, silver bars. Keep it simple. Set a budget. And this is important. A lot of people are like, well, because you have to keep some money liquid to pay bills in case you need it for a rainy day. Because the whole point is you're spending this money and in your mind it's gone. It's no different than you going out and buying a TV, or you're going out and bowling, or you're going out and drinking some beer, or you're buying some dope, or whatever the case may be, and that's marijuana. We don't condone drug addicts here, but we condone cannabis, God's medicine. So you got to have money on the side is my point. So set a budget before you start buying silver. It's essential to set a budget, determine how much you're willing to spend on silver, and stick to it. Because you're not going to want to spend so much that you're going to have to start trading in your silver or gold. It's just that simple. When you buy it, this is a store of value, and we're not looking to touch this until 2030 or beyond, 2035 for me. Unless I'm trading silver for gold. Because I feel like we're going to have, or I understand in the next decade, we're going to have a parabolic spike, and I've been buying it for the last 6-7 years. Find a reputable dealer, and this is important, and I've given you a few options online. You've got JM Bullion that I've bought from for 6 years and never had a problem. And that's just why I advise them over anybody else. I've also bought it from a few other places. But we'll go over that. It's in another update, so you can go into that and look at that with my other silver stacking episodes. And it's archived below, so it's easy to find. Look for a reputable dealer with a good reputation for selling genuine silver. Make sure to do your research. And read reviews before purchasing from a dealer. The other one that I could advise you is to use Scottsdale Mint. And you can actually buy it with your crypto as well, and that's why I use Scottsdale Mint. So if I'm using my crypto, I buy it from there. If I'm using my, just my cash, I buy it from JM Bullion. Determine the premium, and this is very important. Premium prices are often much higher than the actual price. So for instance, today it's $22. We'll use that as our base price for silver, even though it's a little bit higher. So if it's $22, you're looking at about a $4 premium, $3.50. Sometimes you can get lucky and find $1.50, $2, and that's when you jump on it. So even though it's $22 an ounce, we'll call it today, even though it's a bit higher, it would cost you about $26 to buy it. So you have to be very understanding of what's going on with premiums. And if you find like a $1.99 premium, you jump all over it. The premium is the price you pay above the spot price of silver. So, and understand when you sell it, you're only getting the spot price. You're only getting the spot price. So when I tell you it's 88 to 1, that doesn't mean we're basing it off of $26. We're basing it off of the spot price because you're only getting spot price when you trade it. And it's very important to understand that because a lot of people are like, oh, I paid $26 today. That means I'm getting $26 tomorrow. Wrong. If you take that same bar where you got 26 today, you're getting 22 tomorrow. That's just the way it goes because you're not getting the premiums. That's why you have to do your due diligence and understand. I've got silver that I bought at $12. I've got gold I bought around $1,400. The premium sucked then because on gold it was about $80 an ounce back then. Now it's a little bit higher. It's like 100 and something. But that's just what you have to understand. Make sure to consider the premium when making your purchase as it can vary depending on the type of silver you're buying. And then as I talked about, you're going to have to bury it somewhere. You got to have arms. You got to have some place close by to store it as well. And you're going to have some on you in person in case you need it tomorrow. I advise you to have it in a safe, bolted to the ground, have it inside of a backpack already ready to move. Because all you want inside is your storage is what you're moving with. The rest of it's going to have to be buried somewhere. And I hate to tell you that, but you're going to understand if you start collecting it like I have. Store your silver securely. Once you purchase silver, Make sure to store it in a safe and secure place. Consider investing in a safe or a safety deposit box. No, not a safety deposit box. To keep your silver protected. You're not putting it in a bank in a safety deposit box. That's no safer than having it in the government's hands. I'm sorry, no. Don't do that. Consider buying in bulk, which is great. Even instead of buying 1 ounce, buy 20 ounces, and you'll see a little bit of a savings. If you can buy 100 ounces at a time, which would be, got to buy 100 ounces. A little bit cheaper there, too. And if you buy 1,000, it's even cheaper. I don't buy that much. I usually stick between 20 and 40 ounces. Unless I'm looking to buy a kilo or I have bought 100-ounce bars, so it all depends. Consider buying in bulk. Buying in bulk can help you save money on premiums and shipping costs. However, make sure to stick to your budget and only buy what you can afford because you're not looking to get rid of it. It's actually a trick of the mind. Oh my God, I spent $10,000 this year in metals. Oh, wait a minute. It's worth $10,600 now. Or I spent $10,000 on going out and getting drunk and partying and buying stupid shit I don't need. And it's gone forever. Investment into your future. At the, risk of losing some of your indulgences. Good. Monitor the market. Keep an eye on price of silver and the market conditions. This can help you make informed decisions about when to buy or sell silver. This is what we talked about before. And that's why we did, before we even got into this, we did the technical analysis. Because you have to know the technical analysis before you can get into the rest. And now, real quick, I know it's already been a very long update. This will be about 20 minutes before we get done. But I want to tell you the difference between silver and gold in the industry. Because, yes, gold is more commonly known, but silver is actually more widely used. So, they're both valuable. They're both widely used in industry. But I feel like silver has a lot more conducting values. And it's just some of the things you'll see. They both can be used in electricity and such. But there's just a lot of things when it comes to... I don't want to talk more. I just want to get into this. But in the medical field, there's a lot of things in the tech field with silver. Gold, yes, it's a good conducting... But there's a lot of differences between the both. And that's why you need both of them. So make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to... buy XRP if you're a fan of XRP or crypto, if you're watching me. In the video description below and or the pinned comments, there's exchanges to buy XRP in the USA because most of the people watching are actually fans of crypto and watching for XRP. So make sure you look in the video description below if you want to do that. Or if you want to join Tom's Army to help support this program, that's in the video description below and or pinned comments. So just make sure you look there, and all the information you need is below. So I don't really want to go much more into that. But it is very hard to buy XRP right now, so knowing the exchanges without having to buy spot fees is actually a very beneficial thing. And then if you want to buy precious metals, I have no partnerships with anything, but I can tell you, JM Bullion, I've been using for 6 years. And then Scottsdale Mint, I've bought with crypto 6 different times now and had no problems, and it's gotten shipped to my house within 10 days. So those are 2 legitimate options. So both silver and gold are highly valued and widely used in industry, but they have different properties that make them more suitable for certain applications. Silver is an excellent conductor of electricity and heat, making it a crucial component in electronics, such as circuit boards and solar panels. And yeah, solar panels are becoming a big thing now, and you need a lot of silver. You're going to need a lot of silver to keep putting out these solar panels. It is also used in batteries, mirrors, and photographic film. Silver has antimicrobial properties, which makes it useful in medical applications such as wound dressings and catheters. And then there's a lot of things silver is used for. But the main thing is it's a simpler medium of exchange than gold because it's worth a lot less. So a lot easier to buy a $50 meal or a $25 worth of groceries with silver than it would be to use gold because of the higher value. So there is that part of it as well. But you can break down gold into smaller levels, so that's not the only reason. So silver and gold in industry both have their own weight. Gold is also a good conductor of electricity and is highly resistant to corrosion, making it ideal for use in electronics, such as connectors and switches. So they both have their own values in electronics, but for connectors and switches, is better for gold because it has its higher resistance to corrosion. Its inert nature also makes it a popular choice for jewelry and decorative applications. So think about it. The silver is used to make the battery, But at the top where you have the connection, you use gold because of the corrosive benefits, that it doesn't corrode as easily. Gold is also used in dentistry and medicine as it is biocompatible and can be used in implants and prosthetics. Overall, both silver and gold have unique properties that make them valuable in various industries, and their use often depends on the specific requirements of each application. So this brings us to the close of Silver Stacking episode number 8. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. Make sure to hit that like button. If you could share this to other gold and silver groups to get more people in here, I would greatly appreciate that. Make sure to hit that like button as it will greatly push me through the analytics. And hit that subscribe button and join the more than 15,700 subscribers if you appreciate my work. Stay blessed, everybody, and remember, help everybody who needs your help. And I go by a simple motto, hashtag be better, do better, hashtag FUD assassins, and remember, help one person each and every day. Because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, what the hell is the point on this lonely journey to 2025? Because you need other people. We need to have a closed environment where we're all supportive so we all can understand. Stay blessed, everybody.